The sound of a worn-out alarm clock echoed through the tiny one-bedroom apartment in downtown Chicago. Jake Dawson, 34, hit the snooze button for the third time before rolling out of bed. His apartment was cluttered, and the air smelled faintly of microwaved food and laundry that hadn't been folded. Jake had once dreamed of being a successful entrepreneur. But like most people, life had cornered him into a cycle of survival. He worked as an assistant at a logistics company, earning enough to pay rent and groceries. Barely. Dreams. They faded into the rearview mirror years ago. One night, after another disappointing day at work and an argument with his manager, Jake stared blankly at his ceiling and whispered to himself, "Why does it feel like I'm running in place?" That question changed his life. The next morning, Jake visited an old friend, Michael Grant, a man who was once in the same position as Jake but had risen to become one of the top real estate investors in the state. Jake hesitated outside Michael's office, doubting whether he should even ask for help. "Jake," Michael greeted him with a genuine smile. "It's been a while, come on in." They sat down and Jake got straight to the point. "Mike, why do you think some people make it and others don't? I mean, we came from the same place. I'm stuck, but you made it." Michael leaned back, folded his arms and said, "You really want to know? The truth's not glamorous." Jake nodded. Michael looked him dead in the eye. "The truth is, 99% of people never make it because they don't change the way they think. Success isn't just about hustle. It's about mindset, choices, discipline, and unlearning what society told you was normal." Jake furrowed his brows. "So what am I doing wrong?" Michael smiled and began sharing the real story behind his journey. When Michael was 24, he had nothing but debt and frustration. He'd worked at a call center, barely scraping by. He blamed his parents for not teaching him about money, blamed the economy, and even blamed his boss. But the moment everything changed was when he stumbled on a book at a thrift store, The Slight Edge. That book planted one idea in his mind. Small actions, done consistently, create massive results over time. Michael started waking up an hour earlier, using that time to read, reflect, and plan. He replaced Netflix with books and started journaling. He stopped drinking on weekends and took online courses instead. While his friends partied, Michael studied real estate, negotiation, and emotional intelligence. It was lonely. It was hard. But day by day he built momentum. "Jake," Michael said, "success is 80% mindset, 20% mechanics. Most people have it reversed. They chase hacks, shortcuts, or wait for motivation. But the 1%, they create structure, systems, and sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term freedom." Jake sat quietly, absorbing the words. "Let me break it down for you," Michael continued. "There are life lessons that will fix nearly every problem you're facing. But only if you live by them. Want to hear them?" Jake leaned forward. "Yes, I need this." Michael nodded. "All right. First, stop lying to yourself. Most people spend more energy defending their limitations than fixing them. I used to say I didn't have time, but I had hours for social media. I said I didn't have money, but I bought stuff I didn't need. That changed when I decided to take radical responsibility." Jake exhaled. He knew he was guilty of that. "Second," Michael said, "your environment is shaping you whether you know it or not. I had to let go of friends who didn't believe in growth. Hurt. But I couldn't grow in soil poisoned by negativity." Jake felt the weight of those words. His current friend circle wasn't bad, but they weren't going anywhere either. Third, discipline beats motivation. Forget waiting to feel like it. You do it whether you feel like it or not. Want to get in shape? Go even when it rains. Want to grow a business? Work after your shift ends. Want to write a book? Wake up at 5 a.m. You build character by doing hard things consistently. Jake nodded slowly. Fourth, Michael added, learn to delay gratification. Everyone wants fast money, fast success, fast everything. That's how people get trapped in scams and shortcuts. Real success compounds. Like investing. You don't see results in a week. But stay consistent, and a year from now, you won't recognize your life. Jake was quiet, his mind racing. Fifth, Michael continued, master your emotions. Most people react. Winners respond. Emotional control is underrated. I've lost deals when I let ego drive my decisions. I've won big when I paused, analyzed, and acted calmly. Emotional intelligence is the hidden edge. Jake felt as though he'd been given a flashlight in a dark tunnel. But here's the thing, Michael said. Most people will hear all this and still do nothing. They'll say, "That's great," and go back to scrolling their phone. Change only happens when you stop tolerating mediocrity. Jake looked up. So, what should I do right now? Michael smiled. Start small. Track how you spend your time. Cut one toxic habit. Read for 20 minutes a day. Write down your goals. Take a walk instead of a smoke break. Get your finances in order. Learn something new every week. Improve 1% a day. In a year, you're 37 times better. Jake left that meeting transformed. Not instantly successful, but with a burning clarity. He went home, cleaned his apartment, and wrote 3 words on a sticky note. 1% better daily. Over the next few months, Jake began reshaping his life. He canceled his streaming subscriptions and invested in audiobooks. He unfollowed influencers who made him feel inadequate and followed thought leaders who taught him how to build. He started waking up earlier, just 30 minutes at first, then an hour. He journaled his thoughts, planned his day the night before, and started budgeting. He even joined a local business meetup and nervously introduced himself as a future entrepreneur. First, nothing magical happened. But internally, a new version of Jake was emerging. Within a year, Jake had saved enough to buy a camera and launch a small freelance photography business on weekends. It didn't pay much, but it reignited his passion for creativity. He no longer dreaded Mondays, because he knew he was building something. 2 years later, he quit his day job. His business wasn't just a side hustle anymore, it was thriving. He was booked 3 months in advance. But more importantly, Jake had become the kind of person he used to admire. Disciplined, focused, and deeply fulfilled. He returned to Michael's office one afternoon, not for advice but to thank him. "You were right," Jake said. "The lessons didn't just fix my problems. They changed who I was." Michael grinned. "Told you. Success starts in your mind. Only the 1% choose to rewire it. The rest, they wait for a lucky break that never comes." Jake now shares his story at community centers and schools, reminding young people that they don't need a perfect background or huge capital to win. They just need to change their thoughts, habits, and choices. He tells them this: if you want different results, become a different person. Your life isn't fixed, it's built. The only question is, are you building by design or by default? Most people will hear that and nod. But a few will actually take action. And that's why only 1% succeed.